Hey, what's going on, everybody? Steve here, Rake and Profit over at rakeandprofit.com. We are here with JT's Funky Finds. This is going to be a really interesting show because I've got some new glasses on. No, I'm just kidding. It's going to be an interesting show because JT has a really interesting story. JT, from my understanding, I believe she had started eBay. Was it about 3 or 4 months ago?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it started in about September. So
Wow.
not too long ago.
So it's only been about 3, 4 months or so. And to my surprise, I'm so excited to dive in and really dig deep into this. She's sold almost, I believe, close to $40,000 now in those three
Yep.
months. And she told me behind the scenes that she went to an estate sale. She found 20,000 items for $1,000, and that really started things off. Not only is she a part-time reseller, she's got some other businesses that I want to learn about. She's a full-time mom, and she has a warehouse. So this is going to be really, really fun to kind of figure out how in the world did you do that? So JT, welcome to the Rake and Profit YouTube channel. What's going on? How you feeling today at 5 a.m. in Australia?
Yeah. G'day, guys. G'day, everyone. Yeah, it's a nice chirpy 5 a.m. over here. I'm prepped. I'm ready. I'm normally just waking up at 5 a.m. Let alone I've already gotten up, had my brekkie ready to go just for you guys. So, yeah. I'm ready. Yeah, ready to fire away with whatever questions you got coming my way.
So let's start off with your story. Okay. So did you have any prior experience to reselling online or selling on eBay prior to, 3, 4 months ago when you really went gung ho with this?
Yeah. So pretty much, I I've always had a selling bug about me. So I started off, when I was like 8 or 9, selling at the swap meets with my folks. Just loved it. Had a blast. Always looked around the house for toys I could get rid of as a kid, or Pokemon cards I could sell for 20 cents. Or I guess I was in that genre, and I just loved it. So as I got a bit older, I was the manager of a few sports outlets. I traveled playing sport as well, so I just loved it. I enjoyed all that aspect, and then I ended up getting into real estate for 7 years. So
Hmm.
I was a real estate agent for 7 years. Did that, so always pretty much making my own money. I was never one to be, I guess, bossed about. Always wanted to be the go getter and go after it myself. And yeah, so I've always had that sales drive, that sales kick, that motivation to just get in there and get going, really. And then yeah, eBay. That I did a little bit on Facebook Marketplace, just things around the house. As most people would always start off with, the stuff around the house, and then next, I've got a good friend that you'll probably see in some of the videos that I teamed up with, and next, we've bought 20,000 media items, and now we've got a full warehouse full of, toys and memorabilia items and collectibles, and uh, we've just opened up the market, except for clothing. We just haven't really tapped in the clothing side because we've got enough there to get us going for probably this year coming. That's for sure. Without buying anything more.
So let's talk about these. You said 20,000 items you picked up, right? And
Yeah.
that was from an estate sale. Let's talk about how you came across that big haul. I got my buddy in the comments right now. I want to give a big shout out to Brandon Farr, Retro Junk. If you guys don't follow him, he does a lot of big pickups. He has his own reselling shop where he sells a lot of retro stuff, and I
Okay.
really love when yeah, I love when people buy a whole bunch at one time. It's great.
Yeah.
There's the storage auctions, there's just going to auctions, flea markets, but you went to an estate sale. So bring us back to how that played out, because at that time you weren't a reseller, right? Like you always had your antennas up, like looking for
Yeah.
deals and trying to make your own money, like you said. But how did that play out, and kind of bring us through that story?
Yeah, so what I did is I documented the journey on my channel, and I've got a good friend of mine over here. Our daughters go to, I guess, swimming school together, so we became good mates. He owns a toy fair over here in Perth, so we pretty much. I always knew if I was going to get involved in a massive haul, I was going to team up with him, and it pretty much 10 o'clock at night on Facebook. I saw this advertisement, and this lady was pretty much helping her neighbor. So she wasn't close with the person, but she was just helping her out because she was not of English speaking, and put an advertisement up saying, $5 a box of DVDs. And I'm like, right, you've got about 30 to 40 boxes of DVDs here, which all kind of held about 50 to 60 DVDs in each box. And I'm like, right, I'm going to go in and I'm just going to throw the question to her and say, hey, how much money would you take if I took it all? And she came back with a price saying $400. And I'm like, cool, when can I come see you? So we pretty much made a plan. We went over there, and first she actually sent me a few other photos of other items she had for sale. And there was 3 massive rooms to the absolute roof filled of VHS tapes, DVDs, CDs, and books. It was just every room. It was so crazy that when my good buddy and I went over, we just went through the house and we said, right, we're going to literally say, hey, if we give you X amount of money, we'll take everything. We'll take it all off your hands. You've just lost your husband. He obviously was the collector. I think he owned a few video shops in Perth, and and he was obviously a collector to an extent of a hoarder style. And we just said, mate, we'll take it all, we'll offer you an amount. The lady came back with a counter offer and we said, we'll take it. So, we've pretty much filled up, I think it was 3-ton trucks full. It took us 4 weeks. To get through it all. We had a few helpers help us out because none of this stuff, right, was in boxes. It was all loose. So we're literally picking up VHS tapes and DVDs and CDs and books like it was. We were doing our gym session just by lifting this stuff and taking it to the warehouse over a course of 4 weeks. And there's an awesome photo I've got somewhere on Instagram and of me just in the middle of this massive pile of everything we picked up. It was just insane.
So what did you pay in total for everything? $1,000?
Yeah, so we paid $1,200, and to her, I guess VHS tapes, she thought they were trash. So she even was going to take them to the what we call the tip. So you literally dump your stuff and it's all free. You just dump it and you leave. And she was going to take all her tapes there. So to us, we were like, right, the lady to them isn't, I guess, as valuable as she thinks. We know there's a bit of money in the particular genres. So we'll just say we'll take it all. We'll take it all, get it off your hands. We'll take the crap too that we knew that was there. So we've got a lot of stuff that probably won't even sell. But we'll just take it all off your hands, give you a price and walk away. So, yeah.
So how did you assess, because I've actually been doing quite a few clean outs of various items myself. And I had recently passed on one, and there's a strategy that I utilize when I go to a house and there's a whole ton of items. Like there's a process that I go through to make sure that it's worth it, not only financially, but also you have to weigh in your time. How did you, I have so many questions, but the first one is like, how did you know that it was going to be worth your time and financially? Like, obviously for the price you paid, you knew you'd make your money back, but were you weighing in like the time that it would take to have to haul all this stuff out, to rent out the pickups or U-Hauls, whatever you guys have, the trucks over there? Like, was this plan like in place? Did you weigh it all out? Did you go like, was there like a sample, like you went through 50 items and you're like, wow, this is like $500, 50 items. Like if I extrapolate this out, like this is like 20 grand. Like what was your like play for it? Cause I know people are going to come across this and like, they're going to miss the important parts of this, cause you can get burned quick.
Yeah. So pretty much the lady showed us through the house. So we pretty much went through the house and Brent has my mate who I went in as a business partner with on this deal. He's got a really good knowledge base on like nostalgic items from the 80s and VHS tapes. So he knew straight away what to pluck out and look for. And as we went on a tour through this house, like we still don't even know what we all have. Like the amount of the amount of items that were there, we're still finding gold mines in there. We don't know until we pick
I
it up
love it.
and take it over to the listing station that we know we've actually got something pretty good here.
Mm.
So we knew firstly we were in for this pretty cheap. Now, time wise, he actually owns the warehouse. So he has a business that he runs out of from the front of that warehouse. And then he also is the trading card, one of the trading card artists for Topps cards. So, you know, your trading cards that you get. He's a sketch artist for them. He also runs the toy fair here in Perth. So the biggest toy fair we have here in Western Australia, he owns that. So he's a busy man. But then I've also got a business I own on the side. Then I'm a mum of a little 2-year-old. So I knew time wise was going to be like, okay, we don't have a lot of time to put into this. We've just got to go right. We can see a few cool series, so like a few Halloween movies, a few I guess horror movies, like real nostalgic pieces we could see straight away. And we're like, all right, that to us is probably already gonna be, you know, $800. We didn't comp anything. We just didn't have time. We didn't have time. The whole purpose was to get this stuff out of the lady's house as soon as we could. And 4 weeks later, it took us just, you know, a good day every week. So we were there from pretty much 7 a.m. till 5 p.m. Just both of us filling up a truck, taking that truck back, because then we also had to offload the truck, take the truck back to the hire company, and then go again the next week. So time wise, it was hard. It was, yeah, that's a really good item. I know that's going to make money. We're going all by gut instinct. It was just purely by gut, knowing that they're nostalgic pieces. Let's make the most of this opportunity and just get this stuff out of here as quickly as we could, and then work it all out when we got home, because we're only in it for $1,000. So that was the beauty. We weren't in it for much. So
Yeah, you know, I love the risk versus reward. That's something I always put forth in my mind before I buy something is what's the worst thing that could happen? What's the risk versus the reward? And it sounds like
yeah,
in this situation, JT, the reward was so big, the upside was
yeah,
so high. There was almost
yeah,
like no ceiling because you were coming across these weird Halloween, probably like horror VHS
yeah,
stuff like that
yeah.
goes crazy. And we're gonna unpack and dive into the different items and your sales and all that. But looking back, is there anything that you wish you would have done differently? Maybe with negotiations or with like hauling stuff out, or putting the deal together. Like now that it's done, like is there anything that you wish you would have done different that maybe you could share with people, or do you feel like
Yeah, sure. So, for instance, I always recommend always doing bulk deals. If you're gonna go in, don't nitpick, because that's what this poor lady was gonna have to do. She was gonna have to deal with, 50 people coming through her house, nitpicking out DVD titles that they just wanted. Not, we try and work for the buyer and try and say, yes, this is actually going to help you out. So I think for us, we spent the 4 weeks. We spent, 4 times the amount of money on hiring trucks. Sometimes I wish maybe we thought, okay, let's go get some friends. Let's reach out on Facebook. Let's see who's available. We'll flip them a couple of, $100.
yeah.
Come and help us out for a day, and let's just get this out as quickly as possible. Whereas for us, we took, you know, every once a day, because it could have also turned on us as well. We paid the lady straight up front. We go, here's $1,000, or here's your $1,200. We could have walked out that one day. She could have slammed the door on us, and we may never have seen her again.
Bye.
So yeah, we could have taken that massive gamble and just gone, crap, we've just stuffed ourselves. We could have just done it all in one week, just gone there from early morning to afternoon with a truck over the 3 days, make probably the truck hire cheaper, in terms of, because the more days you get the truck, you can have it cheaper.
Yeah.
So we could have saved money there. We could have saved time in not letting it stretch out for so long. But I think in the long run, I think for what we've made in terms of money, all that is behind me. Like, all that lugging around. I kind of wish we maybe gave her a few boxes and said, hey, can you help us actually pack some stuff up while you're at home over those, 5 days that we're not there. and leave them in your storage, and we'll just take it out that way, because the amount of tapes we had to move, it was insane. Just bring lots of boxes, I reckon, next time.
Yeah, my mom and I, we got a lead last year from a clean out company, and those are great people to make relationships with, clean out companies, because a lot of times they have so many things that they're just going to throw away in the trash. And I was getting ready to drive about 3 hours to pick up 5,000 books. And I was talking to my buddy and I was like, dude, I think I'm going to pass on this deal. Like, I don't feel like
Yeah,
getting a truck, and
yeah,
5,000 books doesn't seem like a lot, but it is. And he's like, why don't you just put out an ad on Facebook, find someone who wants to make 300 bucks, just pay them to pick up the truck, go get it all and bring it back.
yeah,
And I did it. And it was the smoothest thing ever. He went, he unloaded it all. There were all these problems he had to deal with. So we ended up giving him some extra money, but
yeah.
yeah, I mean,
I think
it's,
that's the
ugh,
other thing, like, because we took so many weeks to clear it out, so many times Brent and I would message each other and say, do we just say, "Hey, you've got your 1,000, we've got enough tapes here, and, media items, we're done, we're out." So many times we're getting back home, we're thinking, "Far out, we've still got the day that we've just spent at the house that we've got to catch up on our own businesses." So there was a couple times we were ready to say, "Hey, we're ready to walk away. We're sorry we couldn't take everything, uh, you know, that we possibly could. We're just going to walk away now." We did leave some stuff, so the lady did make a deal on some other stuff, because physically for us, after 4 weeks we were done. We just personally, time wise, we could not take every single item, because that was the deal. We were to clear out 4 rooms, a hallway, backyard,
yeah,
and a garage, and we cleared out pretty much every room, but we left a lot of bookshelves. We left a lot of just stuff we couldn't get to physically as well. Uh, and we just said, "Hey, here's you've been paid out. We've got a lot of stuff. We've taken a lot from you." We probably left about 1,000 to about 1,500 items still there. So we were done after the fourth week.
it's tough though. I mean, because I've gone through enough bulk buys now to where, like, I know it's kind of like when you go to a restaurant. You ever go to a restaurant and you're really, really hungry and you order
Yeah.
the biggest steak, the big potato, you got the salads, you got all these appetizers, and then like you can't even eat half of it. And it's very similar to like these bulk
Yeah.
buys. It's like you're hungry, you want to make profit, your sales might be slow. You're like, I'm sick of going to the boot sales, thrift stores. Like, I just want all of this. And then you commit to something and you're like,
Yeah.
um, but it sounds like things worked out with you. So let's keep
Yeah.
moving forward with this. So are all your sales that are coming through right now from just that estate sale, or you've been buying more stuff?
Oh yeah. We've been buying. We've bought 3 massive toy hauls. I think one or two I've shared on the channel and Instagram. One I've kind of kept under wraps, because the deal in itself was just so insane. Part of me kind of wanted to share it, but a part of me wanted to hold back, because we knew that there was probably going to be another deal to be had with the person, because they had moved out of an apartment. They pretty much made a full room full of collectibles for us to go and collect, and say, "Hey, this whole room is for you to have. This is how much we want for it." And we made the deal. I didn't really document any of that, but I did put some photos of sales that were happening, or auction items, because we do a lot of auctions. That's kind of our way of clearing out stock quicker. So we run a lot of auctions on our eBay store, and we start them low, no matter the item. Like, we've sold items for $600, but we've started the auction at $50, $100, because to us, we're in it. I guess our negotiation skills are really good, that we're in it for so cheap
Yeah,
that no matter what it goes for, we can let it go for cheap. Like, this particular item, for example, there was comps at about $900, $1,000. But we're like, no, we're gonna start this at $100 and just let it go and see where it gets. It ended up going for like $560, I think, for example. But that's just, I guess I've got a bit of real estate background, so I've got 7 years of negotiation skills. Brent is really good on his negotiation skills as well. So he can work really big deals in massive toy hauls, collectibles. And this one deal we just kind of kept under wraps because we knew there was probably going to be another deal around the corner. So we kind of also didn't want that person to find out what we were doing in some way, because we just didn't want to give our secrets out there too much.
Yeah, that's one of the toughest parts of being a YouTuber. It's you want to
Yeah,
give as much value as possible and you want to share all your secrets. And sometimes it's like you gotta watch out for your own business. You know, we
yeah.
all want to help people, but you gotta watch out. So I think that's smart. And when the time's right, I'm sure you'll share it.
Oh,
What
yeah.
what advice would you give, JT, to the people who are watching now? Because I know you're in Australia. I'm over here in the States. A lot of people are struggling over here. To find an abundance of inventory
Okay.
consistently, especially for
Yeah,
the ones who are going to like mostly thrift stores, just because the prices are going up. There's a lot more
okay.
competition, you know. So I found that the people who are really winning, and even in my business now, the ability to think outside the box, to source differently, to have products come to you, or to source like differently, not just the main ways that everybody does thrift stores. Those are the people that are winning. Those are the people that are building their stores and making more sales. Like, what advice would you give to people to be able to start attracting some bulk deals? Because you're doing some big toy deals. You did that huge media deal. Um, I mean, you've just pretty much sourced a handful of bulk deals, and that's how you've
yeah,
built your store up so quickly. So,
yeah.
how can people start to maybe attract some of these bulk deals for their business?
Well, I guess the one easy thing I found is that think about what items people throw away. So if people are throwing, like I just did a video on it as well recently to kind of show to people that you can get a lot of stuff for free. So I would always encourage people to go on Facebook Market. I guess I don't know how well it works in the States, but over here, we've got Facebook groups that are, pay it forward Facebook groups. So
Interesting.
they're kind of like groups where somebody's giving an item away for free. You've got to be, I guess, the person to quickly jump in and say, hey, I'd love to be considered. And, that already can start your reselling journey. So if you can find big, bulk. So I guess for me is Facebook Marketplace is definitely the biggest key to start, because people are doing clear outs, especially this time of year. I've noticed so many people are putting up items for sale because they've just received another item for sale, another item for Christmas. So they're clearing out their older item. So, for example, we just bought. Well, we went and was originally buying $200 worth. So I think it was about 1,000 DVDs. So we paid $200 for 1,000 DVDs
Not bad.
off a lady. Yeah. So I noticed she had a for sale sign out the front, and when I went in there and I said, "Hey, you look like you're about to sell. What else are you giving away?" She's like, "Come have a look in my garage. Everything here is either going to the tip shop or to the charity stores, so the op shops and the thrift stores." So I said, "How about if I grab all these different items? How much would you take for it all?" So one, I guess, always keep a lookout for sale. So if somebody's selling, a house is on the market for sale, go put a flyer in the letterbox. Say that you buy collections, you buy anything that people are, ready to clear out. I haven't tapped into that a lot at the moment, but that's a great way to start. Is the houses are up for sale. Make a flyer, put that flyer on somebody's letterbox, and say, "Hey, I buy collections. I'll take the work off you by having to go to the tip shop, by having to go to the op shop. I'll come to yours. I'll make you an offer, or if you're just giving it away for free,
Yeah.
even better. I'll come and take it all, and then I'll figure out the problem and either sell it or bin it or whatever." But I also do on these pay it forward pages, I put an advertisement out there and I say, "Hey, I'm looking for DVDs. If you're going to throw it out, keep me in mind first. I'll come and grab them off you." So you're in it for nothing. You're literally making, the money that you're going to spend on the fuel to go to the house and pick it up. That's pretty much your outlay. And then once you get it home, you get all this free stuff that you get to go through and make a profit on. So, there's heaps of free ways to go about sourcing stock, and then that's how you can get a massive bundle and, um, you know, bulk haul and you know, you just
Yeah.
got to be lucky as well with timing. So Facebook Marketplace is definitely, I find, the key. But then also places that are, selling their houses and needing to move out, because that's where we got our latest toy collection from. The guy knew Brent, which was lucky for us, through the toy fair that he owns, and reached out to him and said, "Hey, I've got to clear out stock. I'm moving to another house. Are you interested?" Obviously, yes. And we bought it all off that. But it's a quick way, obviously, if people are moving house, or go on your local real estate websites and, write down all the houses that are selling, then go and, go, "Hey,
Wow.
I'm a buyer. Come and, I'll come and buy your stuff off you." There's so many ways you can do it for absolutely next to nothing.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I never thought of that. That's a really, really good idea. I mean, you could mail letters. You can do all different types of things, drop flyers off at their house. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's trespassing. So my buddy who was in the comments earlier, JT Brandon, who runs the toy store, Retro Junk, he puts out wanted ads on Craigslist. I don't know. Can you put wanted ads out on Facebook Marketplace? Is there a wanted ads section?
There's not a wanted as section. Well, I don't know. I haven't really delved into Facebook, but
Yeah.
that's where I've advertised, wanted DVDs. I've just put a random stock photo up, and people have actually thought, "Oh, wow, what a great collection you have." But it's actually not for me. And yeah, I've just put out, looking for DVDs. If you're gonna throw them out, think of me first, or other nostalgic, things like books. No one's going to really be throwing out their action figures or collectibles, but they're going to be throwing out, books. Anything I see with a tip, that's what I put out wanted ads for. So I see a lot of books. I see a lot of kids' books. I see, especially this time of year. Um, excuse me. But anything that you see at a recycle center is what I'll
Yep.
put a wanted ad out for, because most people are going to be trying to throw that out over this holiday period.
Michelle just dropped a gem in the comments, and this is something that a lot of people do is they use the Nextdoor app. So I don't know if you guys have that in Australia. It's an app
No.
that we have over here. It kind of like connects neighborhoods and whatnot, but a lot of people put out wanted ads for like free book pickups, free DVD pickups,
Okay.
and I
Yeah.
have just absolutely been crushing it. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
the same thing on Facebook, Craigslist, Nextdoor app, whatever app, Facebook groups. Join your neighborhood Facebook group or your town and just add value in there. Let people know what you do. There's so many deals out
Yeah.
there. So yeah, thanks for sharing the
There's
value on that.
there are so many ways to source for free and make
So
money.
many. And the thing with media items, like you were saying, is people think it makes me. Matt and I were laughing yesterday on
Mm.
our live stream because Matt does a lot
Yeah.
of DVDs. I mean, Matt did $13,000 in DVDs last year in Australia.
Yeah.
People think DVDs are just outdated and trash and not worth any money. VHS, I haven't sold a ton of VHS. I know the ones to look out for.
Yeah.
VHS are definitely more outdated, but there's certain VHS that are gold.
Yeah.
There's a lot of DVDs that are worth money. People think books are trash. I
Yeah.
mean, oh, there's so much money to be made in this stuff. It's not even funny. Timmy Penny is saying magazines. Have you sold any magazines?
Well, not magazines per se, but more like comics, paperbacks. Not, particular, Australian magazines, but I'm sure they would do quite well.
So you've done almost $40,000 in sales. It's been about 3 months. You've sourced, we're talking about your business model in terms of what you're doing. So you're selling on eBay. We mentioned how JT is finding all of her inventory with her partner, bulk, estate sales
Yeah.
bulk, um, different deals with toy bulk deals. She gave the tip with the real estate. So we know how you're finding your inventory. Let's talk about some of the nitty gritty. How are you executing in your business with your listing processes, your shipping processes, dealing with customer service? Because to jump from literally zero to 40,000 in sales, there's a lot of different things that I'm sure has
Yeah.
gone wrong. So maybe you could talk to everybody about your setup. How are you running your business right now? What does it kind of look like?
Yeah, so pretty much a typical day in the life for me per se is I drop my little one off daycare, then I shoot off to the warehouse, Brent is generally already there. Well, he's already there for 5 6 a.m. and he's either doing we kind of do around about, I would say, on average about 50 to 70 listings a day, and that could be, yeah, so we're pumping out stock because we've got a lot of stock to get through.
That's fantastic.
So we pretty much well, first of all, he probably has already done about 40 or 50 listings by the time I get there. So he's kind of done his quota for the day, and then he'll go off and go to the front of the warehouse, and then that's his day done. He'll go and that start off his shop. Then I will pull out everything that is sold that night. So on average right now we're selling between about 20 to 30 items between a 24 to 48 hour period.
Nice.
So yeah. So that numbers definitely add up, are getting higher now. And so I'll pack all them because that's what I want to do first. Because so if it gets later in the day and I have to get back out and go do my other job or my other business or go pick up my little one for daycare, then I've already done that part. So I always pack my listings first, or my sales first. That always gets done first thing in the morning. So sales get done, ready to go out the door. And then I will then get into listing. So then I will start sorting through what I'm going to list. I try and stick to a type of genre. So I might do TV series one day, or pick out a whole lot of different toys or collectibles that are all kind of in that same category. Because what we do is a lot of our items are all sold via auction. So then we'll all end at the same time. So whoever's looking for one item is probably going to try and bid on another item that's similar. So, just before Christmas shutdown, because, we've just shut down for 2 weeks. We've just taken the time off. We're going to spend it with our family. We're spending it with our families because we kind of can now. We've done the hard yards for that 3 months, and we're like, right, we've got 2 weeks. Let's just downtime. We're still going to hang out. Like our kids hang out every third day pretty much. So I'll list another probably 30 items after I've packed everything. And then I head off at around about 12 o'clock. So I'm only at the warehouse for about 5 hours. So my time spent on the business is about 5 hours. And then Brent will spend about, 2 hours, 3 hours in terms of his listing. He'll then go to the post office and do the drop off. And then I'll go and do my other business. And then I'll go pick my daughter up. And then next time, it's dinner time and I'm doing it all over again.
So you're listing mostly media and toys. So those items are pretty quick to list.
Yeah. So DVDs are very fast, which is great. We're actually going to get in Brent's daughter to try and help us out and burn through all the DVDs as quickly as possible, because then that's something very, very simple. She's just got out of high school, so she can just focus on something simple. And then we can spend a bit more time on the higher end ticket items, the ones that are going to generate more money, and she can pretty much make that 20,000 media haul that we picked up her baby, and then we can focus on everything else that we've kind of done. So
yeah, and I'm curious when you're listing your DVDs, because I do a lot of sourcing online, buying DVDs, and I notice that most people who are listing their DVDs on eBay, they don't put a description. They only do maybe 2 photos. Is that how you do them? Or are you just quick, where you just kind of like, maybe you just scan the UPC code, find it, sell similar, have eBay just put in its stock description that'll pull automatically and just kind of go from there? Or are you adding any extra details if it's new or used, or you're like, you know what, it doesn't make that big of a difference? What are your thoughts on that?
We like to put a little bit of time into the listing, because at the end of the day, you want to be that, if there's 50 of those items, you want to be that one that stands out at the top. So we always make our title quite not enticing in terms of like, free postage, because I feel like sometimes that can waste space. Everything we do is pretty much free postage, because we've got that business model that we can afford to take that money out of the sold item. But yeah, so we pretty much use the sell similar feature, and then we rejig it because some sell similars are actually never accurate. We rejig,
Yeah.
like, let's just say Aladdin is actually somebody's put a subcategory of horror. Like it just doesn't make sense. So we'll quickly look through it all and we'll be like, yep, that suits that. We'll rejig the description. We'll always make sure that the title, the region is a big thing for us because we do sell a lot of other regions that are not just region 4 for Australia. So we'll always have that in the title. And then we always try and add in DVD, whether it's a comedy, whether it's a popular actor or actress or whoever, just so that our eBay can quickly find it. And we always promote. So we put a little bit extra, we probably put an extra minute into our listings, but yeah, we always do the sell similar and then just rejig it. We always take photos. We never do a stock photo because the way I look at it is if I want to purchase something, I want to see that that person has got it in hand, not, oh, they've just taken an image off the online and how am I going to trust that person? I don't know what
Yeah.
the item exactly looks like. It could be a dodgy, case
Scam.
or whatever. Yeah. So I'm always one for if I'm how I'm going to buy something, I want to know that I can see it physically in somebody's hand. So
Yeah. Well, that's going to be a cool project. You said that was your daughter you were going to have help you with that? With the DVD
Brent's
project?
daughter. So
Brent's
she's much
daughter.
older. She 17, 18, I think. So
Oh,
that can be her little hobby.
that's gonna be so much fun, and it's gonna be such a great learning experience for her as well. I mean, DVDs are
Mm,
pretty easy, but she's gonna be able to
yeah,
learn the skill of like how to look things up, how to value things, search engine optimization, how to create a
yeah,
listing. So I think that's a great project for her to take on. And I think that's
yeah.
something that I like how it's just one category because it's really hard to train someone from scratch how to list items on eBay with multiple categories. But starting there,
Yeah,
that'll
and
be that'll be
she
good.
loves movies and things like that. So she doesn't have any experience in, I guess, in the workforce. But if I can take her under my wing, because I guess we want to kind of keep that family door shut a little bit in the business as well, and just be, if she's then I'm her boss, then I'll take her under my wing and I'll kind of guide her and show her the ropes to how to do stuff. Then hopefully she can then go on and either make this part of her, this is what she wants to do, or she's got those skills to then go out in the workforce and actually work for someone else. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Now I'm curious, out of those 20,000 media items, how many do you think you've gotten listed up so far? And then I have a second question to kind of lead from that.
All right. So I guess going just off eBay
Yes.
numbers, because that's what helps us. We've probably between active and what's sold, there's over 2,000 items. So we're not even a quarter of the way through it. Like
Oh my gosh, you have so much to do.
that's
What are you doing on
that's
this YouTube video now? You need to be listing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, and that's where for next year, going into next year, once we go back to the warehouse, our focus may drift a little bit, and more into, I guess, Instagram because it's a little bit quicker for me to upload tips and stuff, or what's sold. But yeah, there's a lot of stock for me to get through, and that's why I really want to over these holiday period. I really want to take his daughter under my wing and train her as quickly as I can to
Yeah.
help us get through that stock because there's so much money just sitting there to get online.
So my second part question is, you picked up a bunch of media items, VHS, DVDs, CDs, and books. Out of all those different types of items within the media niche, which ones are selling the best? Which ones are selling the worst? Which ones are kind of surprising you? Because I don't really deal with much VHS. And if I had come across a huge lot of VHS, unless I saw a bunch of horror films or whatever, like I would probably pass on it. So I'm curious, what's really selling best for you out of those media items on eBay?
So I guess if we break it down to just VHS, then yeah, it's gonna be a lot of horror. That it's just what is like because people aren't really collecting the VHS movie. They're collecting the slipcover case. So the artwork. That's what
Really?
people are. Yeah,
I had
that's
no
what
idea.
most. That's what most people are after because you don't get that same artwork on Netflix. You don't get that
Huh.
same artwork on a DVD because it's being pre-made. You kind of, there's a lot of collectors out there that are just after the artwork that was made
Really?
for that VHS. So we get a lot of those buyers. So we get a lot of collectors, and I guess the VHS movies that never also made it to a DVD. So if you obviously, most people will have heard of good old Johnny Farnham. He, to us, is an Aussie icon. So in the music industry, but this particular VHS never actually made it to a DVD. So if you want to watch this concert, you will only ever see it on a VHS. So the only way you can track it down is on this VHS. So there's a lot of other, I guess, movies out there that just never made it to a DVD, never made it to a streaming platform. So those are the items that people are after, and they're searching for, and they're still holding on to their VHS cassette players because, you know, they can't find that movie ever again that never got made again. So it could be the most random, obscure, you know, movie that I would never even think made a bit of money on, like, you know, would be worth something. As long as it's not, you know, let's just say Winnie the Pooh, you know, remade for the 50th million time, is so popular. It's just this weird random movie that was only ever released on a VHS. And I think most people in your knowledge base should kind of get an idea of what it is, because you know Winnie the Pooh's always going to get remade. You know, Disney movies are always going to get remade to a DVD or a streaming platform. Just think of the movies that just would never make it there. Then those are the ones that are kind of worth something.
Wow, that's good. That's a really good education right there. I didn't know that about the slip cases. That's interesting. I wonder if people on
Yeah,
eBay are just selling the slip cases without the actual tape.
Yeah, because people want to just
Huh.
collect that nostalgic artwork piece that was just never remade. Because, you know, we'll get people that will send us an eBay question and say, hey, is this cover being reprinted? Because sometimes they can tell from the
Wow.
bleed lines on the printers. And we're like, oh, okay, so you're a real collector of the art, not of the actual movie. So, yeah, there are
Huh.
so many people out there that will just want the artwork in its original print from when it was first released.
So what type of media is selling best for you? Is it the VHS, the DVDs, the CDs, or the books right now on your eBay account?
I guess for us, because we've got a lot of VHS listings, 30% of our sales have come from just
Really?
VHS, and about 11% has come from DVDs. But it's probably because also
Interesting.
we've pumped out a lot more VHS on our eBay store than we have DVDs. So, and the way we sell it all via auction, and we let that person, we let it auction for a couple of weeks, and if it still hasn't sold via auction, we'll we'll pretty much make it a buy it now price, and you know, just chuck it up for an amount which covers our, you know, our 1 cent that we spent on it, and then obviously the postage and the eBay fees. So because we can be so little invested into the item, we can sell it cheap. So
Very
in most
cool.
people's eyes, anyway.
So you guys are listing consistently around what, 50 items a day, you were saying? 50, 60 items a
Yep.
day?
Definitely 50 items a day. Yep.
You're promoting all of your listings. You're
Correct.
creating a strong title, SEO rich title, I'm assuming.
Yep.
You're offering free shipping on mostly all your items, free postage. Is there anything else that you're doing that you feel is helping you to boost your sales, maybe boost your listings in the algorithm to help you to grow? Because you've grown really, really quickly. I didn't know if you had any other secret ninja hacks that you're doing.
I reckon I would probably say social media has been a bit of an impact as well, which has helped. It's helped, but it's also hindered a little. So if there's an item that I think is definitely worth for the world to see. So for example, we had a oh no, Michelle. Yeah, if we saw
Poor
if
Michelle.
we pardon.
Poor Michelle. She donated all
Yeah, I
her
know.
VHSs. Hopefully they weren't all horror.
I know. um, so, oh, I've lost the train of thought. What were we talking about?
Yeah, somebody help us. What were we talking? These comments are coming in, and they're pulling away my attention. Oh, we were talking about the hacks to help you to boost your
Yeah,
sales
yeah.
and stuff.
Yep. So social media. So social media. So for me, I've always been into creating. So whether it be content for Instagram or YouTube, and if there's particular items out there, I'm just gonna move because that sun is starting to rise.
That early morning sun.
Yeah. So social media. So like for example, I had a Joker. It was the Heath Ledger Joker. It was from Sideshow Collectibles. Now, to me, I think that the world should see that. So I think if I can try and plug it out there for as many people to see it on Instagram, to go right, I reckon this item's going to be for a collector. I'm going to use all the hashtags that I think are going to fit this item to try and get somebody over to eBay to look at it. Then that's what I'll do. So because we do sell a lot of collector items as well, I can easily just quickly chuck a photo up, or chuck a scrolling reel of all our latest auctions that are about to end. If this is something you're into, then yeah, go come over to our eBay store and it's up for sale. So I think social media is definitely a massive influence. That's for sure. So I think so. Yeah, social media definitely helps.
So you've been selling for a while. You've got a YouTube channel. If you guys haven't subscribed to JT yet, be sure to check the link in my description. Do you want to shout out your social media really quick?
Yeah, so it's just JT underscore Funky Finds. That's for Instagram, and then it's JT's Funky Finds for YouTube.
So you've been on YouTube. You've been doing this for a while. I'm sure you've been seeing a lot of people succeed and maybe some people struggle, just like I see on my YouTube channel. There's always people who are doing well, and then there's people who are struggling, just like I'm sure you struggled at first. I struggled at first. What
Yeah.
are what are some of the biggest things that you notice hold people back when they're trying to grow an eBay business? Maybe they're trying to scale. They could be brand new. Is there any common patterns that you're seeing from just based on your subscribers, talking to people, other resellers? Any patterns that you notice?
I think I've noticed some people want things too fast. I've noticed that, I've I've had some people reach out to me and go, how come your item's selling but mine isn't? And it's, you know, uh, people don't understand how eBay works. I think that's a good way to also look into how does eBay operate? How does the algorithm work? Um, it's just with eBay, it's people think that if they put 10 listings up, for example, and then don't touch eBay for the next 2 weeks, they're annoyed as to why nothing's sold. I guess that's where eBay, learn how does eBay operate, and then you'll be able to succeed off that as well. But if you just think that you can chuck up a listing and that item's just going to sit there and you expect it to sell immediately, well, I'm sorry, it doesn't work like that. you've got to work out how does eBay work, and you should be able to then gradually and if you only have 50 items, maybe tomorrow go and resell similar 2 items that have been the longest ones up there for, re-trig eBay to go, oh, this is a new item. If you don't have that many items, then just that sun is starting to trying to like
Blinding you.
yeah, because I don't know if you can see, but I've got windows all the way around this top level. So
You
I'm
got
just
the
trying
penthouse. You got the penthouse, JT.
to no, that's not gonna work. That's all right. I'll deal with it.
You're in
But
trouble.
yeah, yeah, I think people just need to work out and learn how does eBay actually work before they get annoyed as to why nothing's selling.
We got a question from the ATL flippers, and we've been talking a bit about the types of items you're selling. But out of all the items that are in your store, what would you say are the best types of items you sell? What is your favorite? Is it the toys? Is it the media? Maybe it's vintage items. Anything that stands out to you?
Uh, I think because we sell a lot of DVDs, we sell a lot of VHS, and we sell a lot of like collectible items. We've kind of we're in a niche. We're not like selling shoes or clothes or random household items. for me, I enjoy selling the higher end collectibles because I get a kick out of it too because I collect stuff. So I get a big kick out of, you know, toys and collectibles and anything that like maybe my 2-year-old loved. So she was massive on the Wiggles, but now she's moving into like, you know, Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. So for me, I guess collectibles is always going to be a higher end ticket item. But if you can find those, you know, nostalgic items, you know, from when we were, you know, I'm, you know, in my early 30s. So to me, it was like Rugrats, you know, Pokemon, you know, when I
Hmm.
was, you know, 8, when, think about when you were about 8 or 10 years old, what were you into? Because that's what most people are probably going to be into now. So, and that's where for me, collectibles definitely takes off.
Cool. Thanks for sharing. What's the minimum profit that you're willing to make on an item you list? Now, for you, I know maybe it's a little different because you're in these items for like nothing.
Mm. Yeah, pretty much.
um, but I mean, say you're in an item for 5 cents or something like a DVD.
Yep.
Obviously, you have to calculate if you have people working in your business, like you could get an item for free, but if you have employees and staff, it might actually be $2 of time to have
Yeah, yeah.
labor helping out and stuff, and supplies and all that. Is there a minimum profit that you'd like to make with an item? Like, will you list up a DVD for $5 or something like that?
Nah. Well, pretty much if we can at least make $5 per DVD, so that's, you know, selling it, you know, you're roughly selling it for $12. You're taking out your postage for us, which is tracked, which is about $4.50. So you're taking that out, you're taking out your eBay fee, you're left with about $5 roughly. So if we can make at least $5 on a DVD, we're happy because we're turning over so much stock. It adds up pretty quickly. But if you're not turning over as much stock as us, I guess if you're not doing as many numbers, then yeah, your profits margin will probably want to be a bit higher, more like, you know, over $10 in your pocket after expenses.
What would you say to a person who they want to start a side income, they want to start a business, maybe they see what JT's doing and they're like, "Man, that's awesome. That's cool. I want to do that, but I don't have enough time to sell on eBay. I don't have enough time to start a business." What would you say to that person?
Get up an hour earlier. Don't be lazy.
It's 5 a.m. right now. Why aren't you up?
Yeah, exactly. I just think, you know, if it's like a, you know, you go to the gym. You know, people go to the gym an hour earlier than they get up an hour earlier just to go to the gym for an hour. If the gym is not you, then, you know, use that 1 hour before you have a full-time job. Or oh, that sun. I'm trying to, let me see if I can turn.
You want to
No,
borrow my
I'm going this
glasses?
way. You know, see, no wall.
There you
That
go.
will do.
Giving us a
That will do.
little, giving us some new angles of your cool little Funko collection.
It'll start stopping in a second on that side. Yeah, I
But
just
yeah, you were
think
saying wake up earlier, make it
yeah, I just
happen.
think that in this day and age, there's just too many excuses. If you want to
Mm.
make money, put the time and effort in. Um, you know, if you've got too many things on the go, if I guess it just depends on how bad you want it. For me, I run a full time. You know, I've got a full time business. Well, to me, I guess it's part time. Everything is, I guess, part time. I've got a 2-year-old kid. I've got a partner who works as a shift worker in the government, and so I've got to make time there. That, you know, if my partner's weekend is falls on a Tuesday, then that's then, you know, kind of, well, then my weekend, because then you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's not in our house. It's not a typical, you know, Monday to Friday in, you know, in the working sense. So, you know, if you want it that bad, you'll make the time and you'll make the commitment to it. That's all I think. So if you clearly don't want it that bad, then, you know, don't even bother.
So last couple questions, because I know you're getting killed over there by the sun. It's chasing you
That's
all
all
over.
right.
It's energizing you for the day. The light never stops following JT. That's why she's
Yeah.
gonna have 100,000 subscribers before you know it. Um, how do you have one piece of advice maybe for time management? Is there any time management tips you would give? Because you're a mom. I'm sure that takes a lot of your time. You know, you got different businesses, you got eBay, you got a partner, everything going on, right? You know, so
Yeah.
like, is there one maybe something that you do to manage your time? Is there any, like, do you plan your week in advance? Do you have a schedule, like a to-do list every day? Is there anything that you do? Like, you don't have to go super deep, but maybe one thing that you do that helps?
Yeah, I used to in the past. Being in real estate, that was what you always did. You were always planning, you blocking out your month. You always planned a month, what was coming up for that month in terms of advertising and all that kind of stuff. But I guess going into the new year, I think we're going to be fitting out the warehouse a bit more as an actual proper, an eBay business setup. And so I think for us, we will start putting proper plans in place. But I always encourage that as long as you can get your minimum, let's say most people do 10 listings a day. If you can block out an hour, you don't even need an hour if you're going to do DVDs. You could just block out 20 minutes because that's how it doesn't take that long. But for me, I actually, because of everything I've got going on in terms of the two businesses plus, a, a shift worker as a partner and a 2-year-old, my time can't be blocked in for certain days. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, my little one's in daycare, so they are much easier for me to work and manage. But if I have to be very flexible with me. But I always say, if I used to in the past, I'd always get up an hour earlier and focus on me. So whether that be 10 listings and have breakfast on my own, I didn't have to worry about my kid trying to take my breakfast off me. But it was just me time. So that's why I would get up at 5 a.m., have an hour to myself, and just do 10 listings, go work on my other business, and then be ready to start the day. And whether that be postage or whatever it is.
Awesome. We got a question from Della saying, sorry, I missed this maybe, but are you doing pre-watched VHS? I recently got a bunch from a library sale. Do I need to watch all of them? Do these kind of VHS sell, or are they worth the energy?
Yeah, mate. So I guess rental VHS is what I presume you're saying by pre-watched. Rental VHSs can actually also go for more money than a store-bought VHS. We've noticed that as well. No matter, like over here in Australia, if you rented a VHS, you'd get those crappy little $3 weekly stickers, stuck all over the artwork. People are actually quite keen on a pre-owned or a rental VHS over here because it's the artwork that they're still paying for. But the VHS in itself, there's longevity in the. We've also noticed that the rental VHSs were made differently than a store-bought VHS. So they were built to test the time of being watched over 50,000 times, whereas a store-bought VHS was only watched in your household, maybe 5 times maximum. So the tape in itself, the quality of the tape was lesser durable than one that was actually at a rental, a pre-owned one.
Great tip. I'm learning a ton. Last question. What are your goals for 2022? And if you were to look back on this video a year from now, let's just say in late December of 2022, what do you hope to accomplish in your reselling business? What would make you smile? What would make you happy if you accomplish that?
Maybe getting some blinds for the top level. Nah.
We're going to need that.
Yeah. No, I think for us, I started documenting that journey on Instagram and showing people that, this is a warehouse. This is where we started. This is where we are coming Christmas, just before Christmas Day. We fitted out the shelving and all that. And now it's about building that warehouse, taking all that inventory that we have piled on the floor and actually taking that off the ground, putting them onto shelving and like pretty much fitting out the entire warehouse. That's our main goal. For me, it's also going to be, I'll be actually spending less time on the other business that I own and spending more time at the warehouse. So that's my other goal. And we've got some financial goals as well, but I guess I'll keep that with me and Brent at the moment. But we do, for what we have in terms of inventory right now and inventory already starting to source. We've already got leads on stuff. I do think it can turn into a very, very lucrative business. And I'm excited to see potentially what I can, I love Christmas. So, I guess I see it as that's my, whatever I can gift people, that might be also a big thing for me as well. I was, going a little bit above and beyond what I've done in the past for Christmas.
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited for you, and I'll definitely have to check in with you next year, and get on another video, see how things are going. Really, really happy that you came on. A ton of people were in the comments. Michelle
Yeah, yeah.
CD, Deller Proctor. We had Urban Fossicker in the comments. Timmy Penny. We had the disgruntled octopus, the number one octopus on YouTube in the comments. Two Aussie thrifters, ATL flippers. Where the pigs fly from, saying, JT, I love your attitude. So many people are lazy to ever succeed. Just a lot of people. Brad and Jazz, KT Treasures, Cheryl, so many people in the comments. So thanks everybody for watching. If you haven't already, Diary of the Flipper, go over to JT's channel right now. It's the first link in the description. Give her a subscribe. Check out some of her videos. Follow her on Instagram. I want to spread the word about more people like JT who are doing it, living it, making it happen, from Connecticut here in the States all the way to Australia. There's so many opportunities. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe, like the video. I've got tons of interviews that are already in the calendar coming. And man, I've been loving talking to the Australian resellers. You guys are hustlers. I love it. So
Yeah,
thank
go
you
get
so
us,
much.
that's for sure.
Thank you so much. I don't know if there's any final words you want to leave the show with, but really grateful to have you on.
No, you're most welcome. Thanks to everyone that's joined in on this or that's gonna, watch the replay. Definitely encourage you to just go out there and just start, get it done. Don't use excuses anymore. And you could potentially turn something that's absolutely, for cents into, dollars, and you can build a massive career out of it. So have a ripper year, guys. Go hard. And I can't wait to see, show me what you do on Instagram or whatever, tag me in it, show me how well you're doing. And I'd love to see what you guys are up to. So yeah, definitely follow me over there. And I can't wait to see what you guys do next year.
All right, guys, links will be in the description. JT, have a beautiful day. You already got your son for today. So now it's time to get in the warehouse, do some listing. But thanks again, everyone, for watching. Appreciate you. Much love, and see you in the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Bye-bye.
See ya.